In Daniel 8 verse 14, we read, unto 2,300 days, and then the sanctuary will be cleansed. Let's ask the question today, why did the sanctuary actually need to be cleansed in Daniel chapter 8? Some versions say restored, but what does it mean to be cleansed or restored? And as far as the chapter is concerned, what does it mean that it was cast down, and by who? In Daniel chapter 8, the prophet is given a symbolic vision involving a ram, a goat, and a little horn. In this, the little horn becomes the main focus. Why, you may ask? Well, because it begins to grow powerful and it begins to oppose everything that God has in place. Let's read Daniel 8 verse 11 together. It says, he magnified himself, speaking of the little horn, even to the prince of the host. And by him the daily was taken away, and the place of his sanctuary was cast down. And this daily is talking about the daily sacrifices that occurred in the sanctuary. But let's just understand, this has got nothing to do with the earthly sanctuary in Jerusalem. Because by the time Daniel has this vision, the earthly temple has already been destroyed. So if it's not the earthly sanctuary that was physically destroyed, then what are we talking about? Well, this would then be referring to the heavenly sanctuary where Jesus is ministering as our high priest. Let's talk a little about what happened. Little horn, which represents Rome, first pagan, then papal, is described as a power that would exalt itself. It would persecute God's people and replace God's truth with man-made or human traditions. For example, instead of Jesus as our mediator, people were told to confess their sins to a priest. Instead of salvation through faith in Christ alone, they were taught to buy indulgences in order to earn merit. And so this system cast down the truth, especially the truth about Christ's heavenly ministry. In Daniel 8 verse 12 it says, it cast down the truth to the ground, and it practiced and prospered. So the truth of the plan of salvation, God's law, and the heavenly sanctuary was obscured and replaced by false teachings. That is why Daniel 8 verse 14 gives us the promise that unto 2,300 evenings and mornings, then shall the sanctuary be cleansed. And so the cleansing of the sanctuary is a restoration of truth, a time when God would bring attention back to his law, his gospel, and Christ's ministry in the heavenly sanctuary. This has nothing to do with a physical place. It's about restoring understanding, worship, and truth.